So today we're going to be fitting patrol rock sliders. Nearly all our sliders are the same principle, as in there are two U's around the rail and some type of front foot. On an 80 series they use the front cross member bolts. These ones you will use the front outrigger for the body mount, which will need to be drilled. So the first step is obviously get all your bolts ready, work out what you need. Trolley jack under the middle foot, slip them up over the rail and get the back 2 feet bolts done up tight, finished, completed, and then using a jack or just your hands, lift the front up and down till it's parallel with the sill, then pin the front one. The front will use the two 12mm bolts. Now these have a slight slot to them, so if you nip these nice and tight, nip these firm but not completely firm, when you go to fit your rail later, these are not rail ones, but when you go to fit your rail it'll allow you to slightly tilt the slider to get adjustment to the body of the car to get the rail completed. Once you're done then you'll nip them up. So that's that section. So the next step, once you've got your sliders all fitted up, sitting nice and level to the sill, check clearances, and they're all tight. As I said, the front foot can be left loose and that'll allow a slight bit of movement in and out from the stub. So all our rails when they're shipped, this one's obviously just getting dummied up, are left long. So most of the time, depending on the car or what bull bar you have, whether it's ours or an ARB one, etc., they will need trimming at the front. Now the trick with them is they don't have to be the whole way home at the back. They will be close, but it's not uncommon to have a little gap at the back. The more you trim off the front, the closer the front will get to the car and the more clearance you'll gain here. So if you go to sit the rail on and it's very close here, but running away from the vehicle, the more you trim off the front, the closer the front will get in and the better clearance you'll have at the back as it rides up the stub. Most cars you'll always have to trim, but again it depends on the bull bar you're going to run. On most patrols they will slightly taper in like this is to the body and should aim for about a hand gap in here, just enough that if you do rubber bank or whatever they've got a bit of room to move. From there, checking that they're nice and level and that you're happy, they normally will sit level with whatever bar you've got. You pick your height, mark it, and do it same on both sides so they're symmetrical. Then we'll drill the front and rear hole using a vice grip, sash clamp, whatever you've got on hand. Normally if they're all powdered and finished you put a rag in here and then clamp it. Make sure that you're all happy. If it needs to move, there is a little bit of play in it when it's like this until you pin it. You can get a friend to hold it more in line with what you want while you drill it. It's an 8mm hole. The smaller the hole you do, the better, because it'll have less movement for the bolts to slop around if you do rubber bank or something. Alright, so the very last step, now we've got them all nice and tight. You'll notice if you still grab hold of it, it's still got movement until you pin this point. Very important to pin it. So even though that's tight, we still have that bit of movement. We can fine tune the gap we want to have. I'm happy with this one, but if you want you could rock it out or rock it in to suit, just so you can get them both symmetrical. From there, you've got 130mm of stub, so it doesn't matter where you go, we normally go here and here. We'll drill two 8.5mm holes, tap them M10 and pin them with our two button heads. So doesn't matter what orientation, as long as there's two holes, M10 button heads, and that'll make them nice and solid and secure. So then run over every bolt, check everything's tight, and you're finished.